Harmony. Harmony.
Hi, Dheeraj.
How are you?
Yeah, doing good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good too. So where are you right now? We're waiting for others to join.
Okay, okay, no.
Maybe for another 2 minutes. Okay. Just try to connect with them and ask to them.
Okay.
So how is going, Money? Where are you working right now?
Right now, I'm working in L&T Technology Services.
Okay. Bangalore?
No, in Gujarat, Vadodara.
Vadodara. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm at Ahmedabad right now.
Okay, okay. Basically, I'm from Hyderabad.
Mhm. Okay. So, which project you are working for, L&T?
Right now, I'm working for Komatsu. It's off-highway
Mechanical.
vehicles. Yes, yes,
Mechanical.
mechanic.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. Right now, I'm in Ahmedabad actually. I'm working from home. So here I have my house. My
So
wife is
you
working
from
here.
Gujarat only?
No, no, I'm from Rajasthan actually. I was in Bangalore.
Okay.
So currently this working from home is going on. So that's what my wife is working in Ahmedabad.
Okay.
My child is also in school. So that's
Okay,
what
okay.
I'm here. Mm,
So how many years of experience in
Just a second. Hello. Yeah, meeting started. We are waiting for you. Wait. Uh, we wait for a couple of minutes to other to join. Then we start
okay.
our session. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Bhargavi.
Hi, Dheeraj.
Yeah. So we was waiting for you. Okay. So now we can go to start our session. I'm sharing my screen and let me confirm once it's visible to you. So this time I am sharing the entire screen. Bhargavi, you should remember our last session, right?
Yes,
So I
yes, yes,
forget.
yes, yes.
So I sharing my entire screen. So
Okay.
you will not get this type of issue again. Okay, so my screen is visible to everyone, right?
Yes, yes, it's visible.
Okay. So today's session we are start with the API basic. You can mute yourself, and whenever you have any question, yeah, you can unmute yourself and you can talk to me. And chat box is also open, so you can question in chat as well. Okay, as you comfortable, you can do. Okay.
Okay. Can we have record this section? Can we
Yeah, yeah.
record
So
this?
this session is being recording. You can
Okay.
see.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So you will get it after the completed the
Recording
session.
over.
You can get the recording. You can use it for your learning. Okay. So we are going to start and welcome you both in the API documentation course. So, uh, what we learn first, we start with the API basic today, and in this session, we learn about the basic terminology, the basic definition. We understand the basic things about the API. What is the API? Why it is used? What is the potential of it? What is the business logic behind that? Right? And what is the architecture behind the API, how the API developed, what is the technology they are using, okay, what are the REST APIs, SOAP APIs. So those are all the things we cover in our API basic session. Then we are know about the API documentation. Then we are move to the API technical things. Okay, in there we are mostly focused on the REST API. We learn more about the REST API, and we move deep in the REST API, all the terminology, all the things which is important for the API documentation. Okay, then we are learn the JSON coding part and XML, how to read the JSON, what are the part of the JSON, and all how much JSON knowledge should technical writer should have. So all those things we learn, and then we are move to the tools, our Postman, Swagger, and Spotlight tool, and then we have come to the actual writing part. Okay, and the last will be the assignment. And in an assignment, you will be capable enough to write the one API documentation. Okay, so that time we are how to write the API documentation with using the inputs and all. So that we learn. Then we last part we are also cover the Git and GitHub. Okay. So today we start with the API basic, and in the API basic, the first thing, obviously, when we uh, see about the API documentation, that is the first thing is what is the API. Okay, so in general basic, if I share the what is the API is nothing but the coding. Okay, the codes, some codes, okay, which are developed by the developers, and that is provided by the organizer or uh, API owner to their client, their partner, the public to use those code. Okay, so when anyone can ask you what is the API in the interview, and you can just say the API is a code which make the communication between the two devices. Okay, when I say the two devices, it can be anything, like it is can be mobile device, it can be website. Okay, it can be post device, like you must see in some shop, they are using the some post device, the device which swipe the debit card and credit card. That device are called as a post device. So that those devices are also using the APIs. Okay, the website which we are running, right? We are writing one. We are using the website, many website like our tech writers lab website. So those are the things are the API. They are working on the API. So code, okay, which are make the communication between the two device are APIs. Okay. So see here, if I say this is my mobile app, okay, and there is a server. Okay. So what API does, API make the some communication between them. Okay, In other word, the API is a protocol. Protocol, it means there is some rules which are defined to make the communication between the two devices. Okay, so you can also say the API is a protocol which will make the communication between the two devices. That what is the rules that we are learn in our session. There is a REST API, SOAP API. So those are the rules. Okay, that is the types of the designing the API. Okay, so that we learn. So two devices, if we communicate using some codes, so that code are called as the API. Got it? Okay. So device which send the request, there is a two things: request and response. Okay. The device who send the request, that called the client, and device who send the response, who accept the request, makes up response and send it back to the client, that called the server. Okay, we clear till now? Any question? If you have the any question, just just stop me and ask your question. Okay, so device which make the request or which trigger the API is called the client. The device who accept the request and work on that request and send some response, that is called the server. Okay, so what request is? So a device, if I open the mobile application, okay, I need to log in the mobile application. The mobile application will ask me the username and password. Okay, I enter the username, I enter the password. What if this device, mobile API, mobile does? Mobile application does one API, trigger the one API with the information of the my username and password. Okay, and send to the server. Okay, what server does? Server accept that API. First is the acceptation, whether it's my API or not. Okay, there is a many APIs is going around the server. Okay, if the server accept and realize this is a belongs to me, this is my work, then only the server accept. So what is criteria of the acceptance the API, that is called the authentication. Okay, we'll learn the authentication in detail in our session. So just from now there is a one terminology which called the authentication. The authentication is does it's nothing but the way or that technology which we is using by the server to identify the his API. Okay, why server accept all the APIs requests, right? If he accept all the APIs request, then it will be burden for them. Okay, so server use the authentication method, that is my API and I need to work for that. So what server accepted. Once I accepted, what server does? Server have his database. Okay, his backend and all. Okay, so server go to his database and he checked in against of this username, is that the password which is provided by the request API is matching or not. Okay, if he realize that server realize that yeah, it is matching, then it is sent the 200 response, that is successful response to a mobile application. Then mobile application allow user to enter in the mobile application and use the services. Okay, so what we understand. Okay, so we understand that API is accessing the database of the server, right? By see, mobile application doesn't have the any database. Okay, all the database which are using by the mobile application are stored on the server. So how the mobile application will work, will talk with those database. So those mobile application using the API, use the API to talk with the database. So using the those API, the mobile application can access the database which are installed on the server, because mobile application itself 20 MB or lightweight the things, right? We can't expect to, mobile application has a own database and own backend, right? So that is the one scenario. The API give the access to the database which are installed on the server, so mobile application can have the access to database. Okay. Second thing, like I have the mobile application, okay, and I have the some server, uh, which is I would say the fintech server, or and I want to make perform one mobile recharge. Okay, you have the Paytm, you have the various application on your mobile devices, right? They perform the various services like they do the recharge. They can you can make the bank to bank payment. You can make the you can book the hotel room. You can book the flight, and you can and many things you can do the service. You can you do the services using the mobile application, right? So the mobile application itself doesn't have the all the backend or all the codes, okay, or I can say the technology that perform the that the services. Let me say if I want to make a one recharge, okay, I am using the Paytm application to make a recharge. Okay, so Paytm application itself doesn't have the technology or coding to do the perform the recharge. Okay, there is a Paytm server. Okay, this is a Paytm server, and that Paytm server have some backend. Okay, and that backend is able to perform the recharge. Let's say mobile recharge. Okay, so what I does, I open my Paytm application, I enter my mobile number. So when I click the mobile recharge in the user interface of the ATM Paytm, it will ask me to enter your mobile number, yeah, something like mobile number, the amount to perform the recharge and your operator, right? So those are the things it may ask me for the mobile recharge. Okay. So what my API does, API take this information from the front end, okay, make the one API that is a request API, put the all the information there in the request API and send it to Paytm server. Okay, Paytm server first make the authentication, update the information. Yeah, this is my API, and I have to perform the one recharge for my user, and my user is a valid user. Okay, we already the user is already in a Paytm. It's a Paytm application. It means is already logged in the Paytm, and he is a valid user, and we need to perform the one mobile recharge. Okay, so server accept make the authentication, accept the API request, and the uh, send this information to backend to perform the one mobile recharge. Okay, then what mobile backend do? Using some algorithm, some coding was there, some coding are there, right? So they do the mobile recharge and they send the successful code. yeah, your recharge has been done. 200 is a successful code in the API industry. It is a standard and send it to again to mobile application. Then we get the notification, yeah, your recharge has been successfully, and we receive the one message from the our operator. It can be Reliance Jio, Vodafone, any. Okay, so this is the concept of the API. So API gives the capability, the services, the database to uh, um, to mobile application or uh, devices. Okay, so using the API, you can use the capability, the services, and the database of the server to mobile application. So, do you have any question till now, or we can move?
No, we are fine. We can move.
Okay, Bhargavi, do you have? Please stop me. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. So, so this is about the API, and this is how the API work. Sometime in an interview, I have realized the people are making the confusion between in a API. They must have ask like, is it the only the client to server communication, or it is a two-way communication? Okay, so API is always the two-way communication, right? We see here like a client sending the request to server, server accept it and making the his response and send again to the client. So API, if the client to server, it is also API. Is a server to client, it is also API. So API is a two-way communication where the client talk with the server, and client anybody can be client, like our mobile devices, our web application, our any devices in which we are generating or trigger the API. Those are the our client. Okay. Now types of the API. So there's many types of the API, like SOAP API, REST API, IoT API, okay, voice assistant API, like SOAP API. The still people are using the SOAP API, but nowadays the most popular API is the REST API, and in enterprise platform like a enterprise software, you must see the SOAP API. Still, people are using the SOAP API. Okay, but people are nowadays using the mobile devices. The mobile devices and mobile application are most popular. Even the enterprise are also focusing on the mobile application and they are using the REST API. Okay, there is a voice assistant API like uh, 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 the voice like in you know oh, in a Google there is a features, right? You people in mainly kids are speaking like in a YouTube like a cartoon, okay, and speaker take it and show the result. That is a voice assistant API. There is a IoT API, like smart devices are using the IoT API, because most popular APIs nowadays is the REST API, which is the 80% of the part of the all the APIs which are generating today. So you can see the 79% part of the API industry are REST API, and we are in this our training session. In our training, we focus on the REST API mostly, and we understand deeply. We move deeply in the REST API and understand what is the REST API and all its a terminology and all. Okay, and this is just one statistics how the API is growing in 2006 to 2018. It's growing rapidly. It's growing. So we can expect in the future uh, it to move faster. Okay. So why the API is growing fastly, and why, what is the benefit of the developing the API for the enterprise or any company, right? So I want to give you one example. Like, I am operating one fintech company. Okay, I have the uh, developed the software which perform the fintech services like P2P transaction. I would say to uh, uh, one wallet to another wallet uh, transfer, money transfer. Okay. So what I does I return the code, and that code can make the P2P transaction, means wallet to wallet transaction, like a Paytm to, you can send the money to your another Paytm bank, right? So I made I invested in this technology, and I made the one software which can do the P2P money transaction. Okay, and I want to sell it. Okay, so how? So what I can do means I, I have to sell the whole my software, my server, and all, or I can sell the one API, right? That is called the P2P transaction API. I just sell the my P2P transaction API, and anyone, like there is a one player, there is a one businessman who wants to develop the application which are similar to Paytm. Okay, and what he I approach him that I have the solution, the mobile software solution which can perform the P2P money transaction service. Okay, and you are in a business, and you also want this service on your application. So what I do, I will give you the API. You can, your application can start to talk with my server, and I charge you something for each transaction. Okay, so I no need to install this whole server on their location. Okay, I no need to develop the code or give the all the backend everything, my all, I no need to expose my whole technology with them. I just expose the some one API, and their application will start with talking with the white server, and their application can their user can get the benefited from the my API. So this is how the business are running nowadays. Like you must see the HDFC Bank. Every banks has their own application nowadays. Like you can see the SDFC, PNB, SBI. So what do you think? They are all in technology. They are not in the technology field. They are using someone API to perform those transactions, because SDFC can't start the IT company and perform the all the services like a bank money transfer and foreign exchange transfer, and they can't do anything like a login and all. Okay, so they what they does, they use the someone else API integrate with their own API mobile application. Okay, so front is their own, you can must see their HDFC Bank logo, their design, their colors, like HDFC using the blue color, right? So you must see the blue color in their mobile application, but the backend, okay, they are using for someone else. Okay, when you click on the send the money, the mobile application generate one API, and someone else who are provided that API that talk to that server, and then they can perform the services. Okay, so this is how the now the business are uh, 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 business are running right now. Okay, so what the benefit the businesses get? Okay, so a business like HDFC Bank no need to start with the scrap, right? They no need to hire the someone who can develop the whole system, how to perform the recharge or how to transfer the money. Just they use the API and they can start their application. They can send to ask the user to use their application, their services like money transfer. So there no need to heavily invested in a technology, develop open IT company, hire the developers, hire the front end developer, hire the people who can develop the software for them, right? They just purchase the one API and they start there. They can get benefit from it. So that saves a lot of cost from them, right? Okay. And as the people who develop the API, right? Their work is to develop the API only. Like a TCS is the work of the TCS in the software industry only, right? And they provide the services, right? Like Google is a product-based company, and their work to in a browsing, right? In a browse, create the browser, give the great experience to customer experience to user in a browsing, right? How you feel great in a browsing, right? Yeah, like they on the YouTube and all the Facebook, they work in the social media. So they are master, they are great in that particular field, but they can't you know uh, uh, like switch their uh, domain, right? So they know, the technology people know how to feel great to the customer, okay, how to give the better customer experience, okay. So that APIs are improve the customer experience, okay. uh, like a API are very fast, okay. Like uh, if you develop your own server and you are uh, using the different type of the technology like all technology, and instead of the if you use the REST API, the REST API is a very fast, they work very smoothly, okay. So that all the things the combine all the things like your user interface, your backend, your website speed, and all the things are give the great customer experience, okay. So this is how the API is benefited to everyone. It's a reduce the cost, it's a reduce the error, okay, is enhance the collaboration. As I said, being the bank, it is impossible me to develop the one IT company, so I can collaborate with IT company and I can provide the mobile application or online transaction to my users and they can get the benefited, okay. API is advanced security. How is the advanced security? Like I said, they using the authentication method, okay. So those are the authentication methods. We are using the encryption, decryption technology. So this encryption, decryption technology make REST APIs very secure. Okay. Uh, so those are the things. This is the reason people are using the API. Next thing is a wide audience. Okay. So suppose I'm running the one fintech company in India. I have I'm know about the Indian audience, like the Indian audience. They are what what type of the uh, mm, transaction, like a fintech transaction they generally do the mobile recharge, they do the dish TV recharge and all, okay. I know their flavor, like how the application should be, how the user interface of the application should be for the Indian people, okay. Now I want to sell that application to the, I would say, the Japan or like Pakistan. I would say in Pakistan is near to us. So Pakistan, I want to sell that application, but I don't know the flavor of that audience. What generally they make the fintech transaction, whether they are what volume of them in a fintech transaction. Like they must do the mobile application. They must use the mobile application and do the mobile recharge and all. But I don't exactly know the user interface, what the flavor they like in the mobile application, right? So what I does, I provide my APIs to someone who are good in that industry, like who are good in a mobile recharge in Pakistan. Okay, there Pakistan there is many companies like a Paytm. Okay, and they are good on doing the business in the Pakistan. Okay, so I approach them, use my API, and you can develop your own application and on application itself for the front end user interface. Okay, user interface means what we are seeing in the mobile application. So you make your mobile application a front end. I will provide the back end. Okay, so how the my back end will talk to you through my APIs. Okay, so I approach them to create your mobile application, and about the Pakistan audience, their how they are using, what their flavor, what they like. Okay, and I can't go Pakistan and stay there to experience all the things. So I approach the one operator like a Paytm there, and I approach them and I sell my API. I'm ready to give you the my backend, my server to you, my database to you, and use this API to make your own APIs, a mobile application and user interface. Okay, so that they must be good in a sell for that mobile app, for those mobile applications. So that is how the business nowadays working. You must see the somewhere in some website are using the Google login, right? So what is that? That is also one API. Okay. When you go to login, there is in a downside, you must see you can log in with the Google, Facebook, Instagram, right? So what is that? Google provided some APIs to them. That's called the login API to them. So using that login API, they can their application can access the Google data. Okay, using that API, you no need to create the again the username and password. Okay, you no need to create the username and password for the particular website. You can use the Google username and password, and Google will verify that username and password and allow you to on third party there, right? So what Google does, Google provide the login API to them, and they integrate that login API to their application. Okay, so that you are getting the option that you can log in with the Google. Okay, so these are all the things. If they want to make one authentication uh, technology, then they have to invest. Okay, they have to start from the scratch. They have to invest. They have to um, hire the developer, the front end developer, and they have to maintain the one database. They have to hire the one, you know, authentication server and all. So why they invest in those things? They can they just give the one option that you can log in with the Google, so they no need to maintain all the user information and password, because maintaining and taking the personal things like a personal username, password, mobile number, and all are the different thing. There is some policies, government policy, maintain them, record them. There is some policies and all. So no one want to you know stuck on those things. Their business are different, right? This is also a create the build a new revenue. Like as I said, I have the fintech solution, and I want to make a one. I want to develop the business in the Pakistan. Okay, but I don't have the knowledge about the Pakistan. So what I collaborate with the Pakistani company, some like a Paytm company in the Pakistan, and I talk with them. I giving you the backend users to develop your front end, and you give the services to your user. Okay, it is also enhance the innovation, accelerate the development. This is scalability, means this is how I can scale my business. Okay, And agility, it's a agility is some technology technical term. We'll talk more about when we talk about the REST API. Okay, and it has obviously improved the efficiency. Okay, efficiency and uh, performance. Any question you can ask, please. All okay? Yes, money, money.
I did.
Yeah.
So, you, you meant to say one API, one code is applicable for the all the applications?
No. See, when I say the API, okay, one API does the one dedicated service. Okay, like I want to view. I just a second. Like I want to show you something. See, so this is the one Swagger document, API document. Okay, this
Okay.
is a dummy API document. Okay, so each API does the one particular task. Okay, so this is the one API that does the uploads and image. So one API does one particular services, and that particular services, that particular that the dedicated API has been developed. Okay, so if I say
So
the
if
log, yeah, yeah,
so this particular API only for the particular application. So if in case this particular API developed for the Google, so it will
mm,
work for the only for Google only.
yeah, obviously,
Okay.
mm, because this will be authenticated for Google only,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
We'll see more about this, how the authentication happen and all things. Okay,
Okay.
so what I want to say, like, hop- uh, see, we'll go. We'll see in the types of the API. Okay, and uh, uh, I will explain you more detail in things, and then if you have the confusion, you can ask again. Okay. So
Okay.
what is the type of the APIs? Okay. So there is a public APIs. Okay. As I said, there is see, there is four type of the APIs: the public API, partner APIs, internal API, and composite API. Okay. And what is a public API? Okay. You must see that nowadays the big players like Google, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, they are providing their own APIs, okay, publicly. Like if I in a browser, if I search Google login API, okay. So see, in first result you can see integrate Google sign in into your web app, okay. So what is that? Google publicly provided his API. So that API I can integrate with my mobile application, or I would say the my web application to provide the login services. Okay, so these are the APIs. See, sign out user and all. So those are API are publicly available. Those are the publicly available to use, and I can use those API for in my application, like my mobile application, to log in the user. So those API are called the login API. Sorry, public API. So what Google does, Google expose the some part of his code to public. So public can get the benefited from those things. Okay, and there's API are called the public API. Like I, another example, I would give you the Facebook public API. So money, this public API can be used by anyone. Okay, there is no
Okay.
restriction. Understood? So your question was no?
Yeah, yeah, clear.
Yeah. So those public API, which are the public API, which are publicly available and which are the publicly provided by the organization or the company for use. Okay, you can use those public API to your application, and you can perform those services because those are the publicly available, and Facebook and Google will not charge anything for those APIs. Okay, so those are the free API you can use. And why they people provide the free API? That is a question, right? Because why? Because using giving of these APIs, they are generally, you know, uh, making, they are actually they are publishing their brand. They are making the database, big database using those APIs. Okay, so if you use like a login API, like somewhere like in my website or any website like bookmy.com example. Okay, bookmyhotel.com. Okay, and you using the Google API to logging the bookmyhotel.com, then Google will understand that these people are using the Google, this bookmyhotel.com for his hotel booking. Okay, and Google making those data. So that's what Google are provided those API on publicly. Okay, so there is many reason to popular, making the APIs publicly. They are making the data. Okay, and those, today is a game of the data only, right? Who has the data, they are the king in the market. Okay, so those are the public API which are the publicly available to use. Okay, so those API is called the public API. There is another API are called the partner APIs. Okay, just as I given the one example, like I am owning the one fintech company, and there is my partner in the Pakistan. Okay, who are develop the one mobile application and provide the services which are similar to which I already work and I have the backend. I just given him the API, my API, so he can integrate with his mobile application. He can make his own user interface and provide the mobile application, give the services to user to make a mobile recharge. Okay, so those APIs are called the partner API. I charge something for those partner, charge something for those API, and that those charge I will be paid by my partner. Okay, so this is how there are many companies like who are creating the API like to talk with their product. Okay, so those API are the partner API, and those are the chargeable, and company only provide to the partners who are pay for it. Okay, they are not publicly, they are not a free. Okay, those code are very confidential. Okay, and only the partner can get those code and they can use, like IRCTC, this Indian Railway platform. We are booking the Indian Railway platform, right? So Indian Railway only provide the booking to booking API, like booking the train API, reservation, reserve your seat API of the train to the his partner only. Okay, so his partner only can perform the derivation of the train, right? Nobody else can do. And Indian Railway getting something, getting the some charge. They apply some charge to give the services, right? To give the APIs. So those are the partner APIs, right? So I have the one company, and I invested something on a solution like a public the content on website uh, from uh, from the Aaj Tak News, okay, aajtaknews.com website, okay. And I have created the one website. Whenever the Aaj Tak News publishes the one article or publish the one breaking news on his website, you uh, uh, those breaking news will automatically publish on your website. Okay, you have owning the one news website, and whenever the Aaj Tak breaking news publish the his latest news, that also reflect on the your uh, website as well. Okay, so if I create the one API, okay, so those API it is I provide to my partner that you use it and you give me the charge just for the API and you will get the benefit in your business. Okay. So that will be the partner API. I will charge something for that and they will pay because they are making their business. Okay. So this is how the company work and this is how the public API and partner API. Some API are internal API. Okay. So internal API are those API which are used within the organization. Okay. So uh, I am the company who are owning the one fintech solution, and I also have the fintech application. Okay, so how my server will talk with my mobile application? Those are the internal APIs. Okay, so uh, I will not expose my this internal API with anyone, and if I expose, it will become the partner API. If it is not exposed, it will remain the internal API, and my mobile application only can talk with my server. Okay, so those are the internal API for my internal uses, right? So those are the internal APIs. See, this type of the question, when you go for the API documentation interview, they may ask the what is the partner, what is the public API, what is the partner API, and internal API. So those things are important. And the basic, we should definition. Don't go for the definition. Just understand of what is the basic. Okay, whenever they will ask if you know the basic and anyhow you explain in your word in okay, any simple language in English, they will understand you know the basic and they will hire you, right? They get the confidence on you that you know about the API in all things. And fourth one is a composite API. Composite API generally combination of the two or more API to craft a sequence. Okay, so composite API are those API like if I give the one example to making the to perform the mobile recharge. Okay, mobile recharge. I need to log in the mobile application. Okay, so how many API are performing here? First, I have to log in. Okay, second, when I log in, I will move to the my home page, right? I will move to my home page. Then on home page, I click on the mobile application, mobile recharge, right? So there is a one application, there is a one another API that will show me the mobile recharge interface where I enter the mobile number, my amount, my plan, my operator, all the features and submit. So there is a 3 to 5 APIs are you know generating sequentially. Okay, so this combined API is called as the composite API. Okay, so if the two or more than two APIs are generating or creating sequentially or independent operation, that is called After the login, I may use or may click on the other service instead of the mobile recharge. I may click on the dish TV recharge, right? So those API are independently working with each other. So that is called the composite API. Okay, understood till now?
Yeah.
Right? So this is the principle of the API, the concept of API. What is API? How does it work? And what is the benefit of the APIs? Okay, types of API. These are the types of the APIs. Four types of API. That if we this type is a uh, based on the audience. Okay, and this type is technical types like SOAP API, there is a REST API, there is a voice assistant API, native library API, the IoT API. Those are the technical differentiate of the API. We will learn about the SOAP API, REST API in a later in the session. These are the four type of the API. The public API we learn, partner API we learn, internal APIs we learn, and composite API we learn. Okay. So what is the web service? Okay. Now we are going to learn the basic. Okay. Basic. You must know the software on which develop on which base software has developed is architecture. Okay, something in architecture, you must know in your team there is a architecture, right? A software architecture. So what software architecture does, actually they are choosing the technology on which software will develop. Okay, the right technology they are choosing, and they design the how this is how the software will develop. That is called the architecture of their work is to choose the right technology and design the software in such a way that it will it will meet their purposes. Okay, so this is how the work of the architecture. And what is web service? Okay, so web service, whatever you see the STP, STTP, those are the web service. Okay, here if I click here any website, okay, and paste here, the first prefix of the URL is STP. Okay, STP and XTPS. Those terminology is different. These both are different. We'll talk in a later, but you just remember right now is HTTP, which the URL of which services, the services which are using the HTTP, those are called the web services. Okay, whatever. When you whenever you go to the mobile application, okay, and in a Facebook, you open the one post, okay. In front end, like you are a user and you are opening the one post, there is a backend which are generating the one API. Okay, so that API URL itself contain the HTTP prefix. Okay, it means mobile application are also using the web services. You got my point, right? But in a website, you can see the HTTP, right? But a mobile application you can't. Okay, but the mobile application, what are the application nowadays people are using? The all the mobile application, those are all are using the web services. It's a miss, they are using the HTTP services. Understood? So this is the concept, okay, where 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 the someone is a client and some another people are the server. We understand the client server concept, right? So there is a communication. What the web service do? The web service make the communication between the client and server. The uh, if there is a two things like someone is a client and someone is a server, someone sending the request and someone response to the request, that is called the web services. Understood? It is a method of making the communication between the two devices over the internet, okay, over the internet. This word is important, over the network or over the internet, that is called the HT web services. It is software system for interpreting machine to machine communication. Okay, it's collection of the protocol of exchange the information between the two application. The protocol it means certain rules. Okay, if you want to make communication between the two devices using the web services, you must follow some certain rules, that is called the protocol. Okay, and that web service define that protocol, and that protocol are described in the WSDR. Okay, the machine processable format, especially at WSDR. Okay, so what is those rules? The first rules we can understand, there should be the client, there should be server. The one must be the client who send the request, and one must be the server who responds as per the request. Okay, there if you are creating the URL, so URL must be start with the HTTP, right? So these those all things are the some rules, some protocol, the certain definition to create the services or create the APIs on the internet. This is called it the web services. Understood? Se- See, till now we are clear, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Till now we clear. Just see. Okay. Till now we clear the web services. Okay, so what is the benefit of the web services? Okay, see, now if my application is developed in, I would say, the React Native is a one language, a one technical language, the coding in which the mobile application are developed, like a JavaScript. Okay, and my server who are some another side, and they use the Java, mm, like a Java as a language, and my application in React Native. So how my React Native application will talk with my Java server? Okay, because the language are different. Like how my server will understand my React Native application, what I send. See, if I send the one request, API request, so API request must be in some other format, right? In the React Native format, and my server understand only the Java. So how they understand my server will understand those things? Okay, what is the request and what response he has to do? Okay, so this doesn't matter in the web services. Okay, so this is the advantage of the web services, whether your application in a different language and your server in a different language, they can talk with each other using the certain rules. Okay, they can make the communication, okay, using certain rules. So that is the advantage of the web services. Okay, so what, everywhere anything you are see in the internet, okay, the URL, if we start with the HTTP, HTTP, that all are web services. You must say these are the web services, and they doesn't depend on the language, the technical coding part. They can talk to server, okay, whether they are in a JavaScript, the React Native, and all, okay, over the internet. Okay, so now we are so there are the two type of the most popular web services. The first one is SOAP, and second one is RESTful. We'll learn detail in in those web services in our session. Okay, so these are the web services. Second thing is a microservices. So what is a web services? Or what is a microservices? Like being a architecture. Uh, uh, I explain you what is the work of the architecture. Architecture work is to choose the technology which is fixed for their solution. So if I am the architecture and I decide that we are work on the web services, okay, creating I'm developing the solution, one fintech solution, and that fintech solution can perform one mobile recharge and can perform one, let me say, uh, one dish TV recharge, or I would say I can add money to wallet. Okay, so I want to develop the one solution. Okay, in which I can add the money, okay, add the money to wallet, and using that money I can perform the mobile recharge and dish TV recharge. Okay, and I decided that I am going with the web services. Okay, for all I will create the services. I will use the protocol that's called the web services. I follow all the protocol, all the rules which defined by the web services in WSDL DL, and I will develop my software as per that. So it will talk to it will use the REST API and make the services. Okay, and for that I use the one technology that called the microservices. Okay, so what is a microservices? So microservice is nothing but applic the microservices is nothing but it's a break the architecture design. So it's a type of the architecture design in which we are, instead of going the traditional monolithic form, we are going uh, in a microservice in which we develop the its service in the small whole software in a small parts. What what why meaning to say there is a terminology that call it the monolithics. Okay, okay. So earlier days when software developed, okay. So I have the one client, okay, and I have to deliver those my software product to my client. Okay. So earlier day, what happened? No, earlier day, the companies developed the whole software at a one time. Okay, let's say in a 1 year or 2 year, then they send to the client to test and to use. Okay, so this architecture design or this philosophy take the lots of time. Okay, because at a certain at a one time I have to develop all the software. Okay, then it will take a more time for me to develop all the software at a time, like it would take like 1 year or 2 year. Then I deliver to client. So what my client will wait for that 2 years. Okay, then he will get my software, then he will start his testing whether my software is working great or not. Okay, and if is it not working, there is an error. Okay, then he will give me the feedback. Then I will start with a zero. Means I have to repair my software. In a lemon language, I'm say if I need to do the work fixing or repair my software again. Okay, so it's a take a lots of time to developing one software solution. Okay, and client is also client need to wait for the long time to get that software and to make the money from them. So 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 reduce the those things, those problem, those issue. They are introduced the one my concept of microservice. Okay, and you must see in IT industry there is a concept of agility that uh, in our session I told you, right? We will talk about the agility in later. Okay, so agility and microservice are nothing but they are agility are most trending concept nowadays in IT industry. The agile, right? You must have heard about the agile. People are using the agile in IT industry to develop their software. So agility and microservice is conceptual if you understand the both are same. What they does, they divide the whole task in a small task, small subtask. Okay, and then they work on that. So instead of developing the whole software at a time and deliver to client after 2 years, what I does, I create the one add money wallet services, microservice. One microservice first I create the one microservice. Okay, then I send it to my client. Okay, so what happened within I would say the within the 1 month or 2 month, client receives some certain part of the software solution. Okay, he tested it. Okay, and he sent his feedback, and as per the successful, he integrate with his application and he start a revenue from it. Okay, making the revenue from it. Okay, this is how I divided my whole software in small microservices. Means what I does, I divided the whole task in subtasks. Like first I will develop the add money wallet service. Then I send it to my client. My client will test it. Meanwhile, I will start to work on my second microservice like a dish TV recharge. Okay, and meanwhile I will start and work on that. My dedicate my resource, my all resource to developing the uh, dish TV recharge service. Okay, then client will get this much time to testing the my first marker service, right? So till now, till that I will till my second microservice will get ready and ready for the delivery. I'm I would get the feedback from my client that is your first microservice, that is the add money wallet is working fine, and we are going to add on our mobile application, and we are going to sell it, and we are making the revenue from it, right? End of the day, the goal of the client is making the revenue, right? Everyone here in any industry, even in the IT industry, to making the revenue, the money, right? So meanwhile, I will create the second my microservice and I will send it to client. Yeah, our first service is okay. Let's test the second microservice. Okay, so he will start the testing of the second microservice. Meanwhile, I start to work on my third microservice. Okay, so this is how the agility works. Okay, nowadays people are working on agile environment. You must see if you are in IT industry, you must using the agile methodology, right? In which the whole task is divided in the subtask, and we work on the and each team members are work on the each like a dedicated subtask. Okay, and subtask again can be divided in a subtask tasks, right? And there's child tasks, and child tasks are dedicated to developer, and then developer can work on together on that task, and they will work on the big things, right? So this is the tending, this is the philosophy, this is the like a practice of the agility. So you can relate the agility with the microservices. So microservice is nothing but the architecture style. It is the architecture style in which rather than developing the whole software at a time, you will you will you can divide the design of the software in a such a way that you can work on the small task and you can prepare the small task and you can deliver the client. Okay, so rather than programming all application function into single piece of the source of code as a monolith does, microservice architecture isolate each function as a small and autonomy running application. These small and independent application are microservice and which typically run in a containerized environment. Independent, it means, see, independent, it means whether I deliver these TV recharge services to my client. My client is still able to test my Add Money wallet service, right? So those services are not independent, right? They are not independent. If I say if I deliver the dish TV recharge services, okay, and if I work on a mobile recharge services, it is still pending and I'm working on. So without that mobile recharge services, my client can test the dish TV recharge service, right? So those these services, the microservices are not independent. They working, they are not dependent. Okay, they are independent. They're working individually. Okay, they are not depending each other, right? So my client can test it and they can work individually and they can give me the feedback and I can work as per their feedback. So this is the concept called the microservice. This design philosophy is what known as a componentization. Okay, that is a one word. That is a word of the. This is you can say that this is another terms we can use for the microservice. Are we clear? Are we clear till now?
Dheeraj, one doubt.
Mhm. Yes.
Yes, in this, we are creating one more feature for one more microservice. While testing, we are doing the same microservice 1 and 2. While delivering the product, we have to combine every microservice to the one URL, right?
No, no.
No.
See, that I told you, no. See, when yeah, I'm sorry. So this is a one microservice. right? If
Yes.
if I creating the API for this microservice, I must develop a one API like a host domain name or anything. Just giving you an example. Okay, domain name, anything, and this is a add money wallet and money wallet API. Then what I do, I will create the another API, and this API only can do recharge, this TV recharge. Okay, and this API only can do, and this is third microservice which only can do the mobile recharge. Okay, so each API has their dedicated task, right? They are not dependable. Understood? So we have, see, when we talk about the API, okay, so each API has their dedicated task, and they are independent and they are unique. Okay, see, we are
Okay.
creating three API, and those three are API are unique for server, right? So
Got it. Got it.
yeah,
It
so
will call to the domain and a dish TV recharge. The
yeah,
each features will call to the each server and each domain.
yeah. So a server will never get confused, right? Sending the dish TV recharge, the server will never respond with the recharge mobile recharge. Understood? So that is a concept. When we are go to learn about the REST API, you will learn the Sigma principle. Okay, so where there you will understand the concept of uniqueness. Okay, and there you will see that there's a principle of the unique. Okay, so you will learn. We'll talk about that also. Okay, so that is clear, right, Bhargavi? We can move ahead.
Yeah, yeah, I'm clear.
Yeah. So another name, this philosophy is also called the componentization. And major advantage of the componentization is that all services of the application to be deployed independently. Okay. Why independently? Because they are developed in a unique way. All are has a unique URL, like unique web services, right? When the services are developed as a component, they are independent of each other and can be upgraded, replaced as needed without affecting application as whole. It means, as I said, when I send my add money wallet service to my client, okay. Meanwhile, I am start working on my this TV recharge service, one another microservice, and I start my dedicate my developer my resource to create this TV recharge. Okay. Meanwhile, I get the feedback from my client that we have the some issue with these services. So, can you rectify it urgently on urgent basis so that we can, use it in our application? There is a minor error only. So what I do, there is a suppose there is a team of the five developer. Okay. So what I do, I remove the one developer. I ask one developer to work with on the add money wallet microservice and rectify the issue what the minor issue those have. So rectify those things. So it will not affect on the my Dish TV recharge microservice, right? So all are the independent and independently you can rectify it. Understood? So that is a mean like independently of the each other and can be updated or replaced as needed without affecting the application as a whole. Okay, so without affecting the application as whole, independently you can rectify it. You can upgrade if there is a upgrade, like if there is a security page in the mobile recharge and your clients want you to add that security page, the security policy which their countries are following, and they are strict to that. Okay, and they said you upgrade it as per the security policy. You have to enter the some credit card information, something, anything. Okay, so you can individually can upgrade the mobile recharge microservice, so it will not affect on the whole application. Understood? So you backend, from backend you can work on the mobile recharge, you can upgrade it, you can integrate the security policy, whatever. Okay, just I'm giving the example, and you individually you can work it and you can deliver it. Okay, so that is the beautiness of this microservice. This is how the microservice work. Okay, and a group of microservices that make up the microservices based application usually interconnected with each other through the APIs, right? So we are created the three APIs. Okay, and these API can uh, uh, like I can configure, like if there is no add money wallet task or add money wallet APIs, nobody can, I can check, like if add money, there is a balance check microservice. Okay, so what I does, I created the one API for balance check. Okay, and I configure from the backend, like before triggering or before starting the Dish TV recharge, my server should check the balance of the wallet. If there is a no wallet, no money in the wallet, like there is a Dish TV recharge which are triggered by the user is 100 rupees. Okay, and my balance has only 50 rupees. So I should get the information, like I should get the message that your balance is low. Okay, so I can configure from the backend, like before triggering the or before doing the Dish TV recharge, my server should check the my balance. Okay, so this is how I can integrate from in a microservice. Okay, so I can interconnect with each other through the APIs. So that is me. Understood, right? So what is the difference between the microservice and the web service? Here are the key difference between the microservice. See, microservice is the architecture style. Okay, and web service uh, is just some protocol to making the communication between the two devices. Those both things are totally different. But why I'm taking this topic, because sometimes in the API interview, API technical documentation, technical writer interview, they may ask what is the difference between the microservice and web service. If you understand the concept of the web service and if you understand the concept of the microservice, you with yourself can understand the you understand, you realize what is the difference, because both those things are these the, both things are totally different, right? So microservice is architecture style. Okay, and web service are, that is a protocol, that is a certain which needs to be followed for making the communication or developing the communication between the two devices on the internet. Okay, and in this microservice and web service is these both things are belongs to the API, the API representative. Okay, and but they serve the different needs. Okay, they the purpose of the both things are different. Microservice focus on independent, loosely coupled. Loosely coupled means the services are not dependent. They work individually. They can be rectified their issue individually. They can be upgraded individually. Okay, so that is called it the loosely coupled. Okay, and closely coupled, it means they are depend on each other. So without releasing or without developing one services, you can't release or publish the another service. That is called it the closely coupled. But microservice, they are loosely coupled. You can work on individual microservice without affecting the another microservice. Other hand, web service is a certain rules, certain protocol bet- between the system and making them suitable for integrating the communication. Okay, so making the to making them the communication between the two device, there is a certain policies, certain rules that is called the web service. Microservice offer the finer scalability, granular control, while web service handle the larger load, have simple implementation and management. Okay. Scalability and control. Scalability, it's meant microservice provide you the scalability. Like once you develop the one service, you can scale it and any there is no end. You can add the many service over there, right? You can do like a P2P recharge, P2P money transfer service. Okay, P2P means Paytm to Paytm transfer you can do. Okay, you can add the bank transfer service to it. Okay, so there is a scalability which are provided by the microservice architecture. Okay, why? Because those are the not to depend the independent, right? So you can add the number of the services to your application. You must see the Paytm are now is providing the more than 1,000 services. Like they are also providing the gold loan and they are also provide the gold lock, right? Gold locker, I would say. So there's a many things. There's a many chance of the more chance of the scalability on the microservices. So you no need to worry about using when you work on the architecture, microservice architecture. You no need to worry about. You can scale your application uh, and you can uh, add the many services as your wish. So that is the beautiness of the microservice. Okay, and web service, that is a making the communication, that is for the exchanging the data service. The web service are giving the capability of the one device to another device, like giving the capability of the server to mobile application. Okay, so that is the concept of the web service. Choosing between the microservice and web service depend on the factors like architecture design, scalability needs, development approach, and interoperability requirement. So this is the microservice and web service that who will take a decision that we are using the web service, we will use the microservice. So you in your technical team, like in your developer team, there is a architecture, right? So they choose the technology, they choose the those things. Like we are work on the web service, then we are develop the microservice, and this is how our requirement. This is how we categorize it, and we dedicate the one resource to one particular task. So this is how they are designed. Okay, so their architecture decision architecture. I would say that their talent or their skill to choose the right technology for their software solution. So your software solution meets the customer expectation. Okay. So those are the uh, concept of the web service and microservice. Till that we are clear. Do we have any question? Can we move ahead?
No question.
Okay. If you have a question, you can anytime you can stop me and you can ask me. Okay. So next is SOAP API. What is SOAP API? And then REST API. Then what is the difference between SOAP and REST API? So those two topics are very important, and uh, uh, those two topics I think we'll take tomorrow, and we focus our dedicated day on SOAP API and REST API because there's a many question interview can ask in the SOAP API and REST API and different between these two types of APIs. So basic concept of the SOAP API and REST API, those are the web services only. Okay, those are using the HTTP. Okay, RESTful API are strict to be used HTTP. Even the SOAP API, there is some protocol and there is a flexibility that they can escape the HTTP. But though these two type of the API are the web services using the web services, it means they are using some protocol of the web services. Okay, and SOAP API you in an older platform, the older enterprise platform or big enterprise platform. Enterprise platform, when I say it means there is a, like you know the people are using the big software in their enterprise, like in a stock market, right? So stock market, there is an application like a Zerodha and all. So they are traditional, means they are the latest modern application which provide a good experience to their user, and they are the some other backend application like who which must be used by the stock exchanger or the people who are working in a stock market or their office, like a Sensex, BSA, right? So they must have there some application which they are must use in internal, okay, for their purposes. So that is all called their uh, enterprise application or and enterprise software. So what I experience with and we are working with the enterprise application, they don't have like a good user interface, like any user friendly or mobile application which we have. So they are using the mostly using nowadays still people are using the SOAP API. So mostly the enterprise software or big software like the enterprise, they are using the still using the SOAP API for making the communication between their application or their web services. Okay, but nowadays many people are moving on the REST API. As I said, the 80% of the API which are developed today are the REST API only. So people are mostly focused on the REST API. Even the enterprise software uh, developer people who are using the SOAP API previously, they are also moving the REST API because of the advantage of the REST API. Okay, but in this training session, we will learn about those things. These two things: SOAP API, REST API. Then we see what is the difference between them. Okay, so that we'll cover tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll start from the SOAP API, then we go to the REST API, and we learn about the difference between them. Okay, so this session is being recorded. So after this session, you will get the recording. So please go to the recording and understand what the terminology I said: the microservice, the web service, the types of the APIs. Okay, so please learn and get your knowledge, improve your knowledge on those terminology. Okay, so this is your homework, and tomorrow we learn about the soft API and REST API. Okay, any question?
No.
questions.
Yeah, so I think you will get this recording in chat box, I think, right? So you can take it. Okay, please. Yeah. If we don't have any question, then we can wind up this call.
Yeah, we are
Okay,
good.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.